Rookie minicamp kicks off this week. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful, and if you live in Minnesota, it is a beautiful Monday. Cracked high 70s today. We got mini camp this week. Everything's kind of finalized. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure if we'll see if Donovan Jackson gets his rookie deal signed before. I know sometimes guys want to make sure they have those locked in before they come to camp, make sure they have insurance policies. Some other news that had kind of broken since the last time we were on here. Timberwolves are advancing in the playoffs. Hey, Nick, when do the Lakers? That's right. Never mind. They're done. I apologize.
That's actually crazy. That's actually crazy,
yeah,
Nick.
It's great time to be a Minnesotan, or a fan of Minnesota sports in general, or a Vikings fan too. It's all fun. But yeah, how's life over in the Carolinas?
North Carolina. Good. It's been pretty nice for the most part. I don't even know if it got to 70 today, but it was like we had a couple of 80-degree days or something like that. Pretty good. Nothing crazy. Starting to it rains quite a bit around this time of the year out here, but other than that, nothing crazy. But yeah, we can you talk about the Wolves. Obviously, I'm wearing the Wolves stuff. Things are getting real over here. We can jump back in at the end of the show and kind of dive into that a little bit more. But like you said, we're a Vikings podcast, so we should probably talk about things that are going on in the Viking world. Obviously, a couple of these things happened since our last show. We just haven't been able to talk about it yet. Thursday, rookie minicamp. I'm going to talk about that and just maybe some players that we're excited to hear about and see clips of and things like that. JJ McCarthy, we haven't been on since we saw him actually be able to throw in person for the first time since his injury, as well as have his press conference, which I don't know if you saw that video. We'll go into it a little bit later, but I don't know if you saw the video with, who was it?
Appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate you. Let's go, FT Maddie. Thank you. What's the quarterback school guy?
Oh, John Gruden?
No.
Oh.
And what's the girl's name who kept pushing the Aaron Rodgers?
Oh. Yeah. Dan Rossini and Chase Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah, Chase Daniels. Yeah. They came out and just said that JJ McCarthy looked super nervous on. Yeah. So we'll get into that too in a little bit too. And then of course Andrew Van Ginkel extension. There's a little bit of, a little split in with some fans on that as well. So we'll get into all of that stuff in a second here. Let me do some shout outs. FT Maddie, again, appreciate you, brother. With the 5, go Wolves, let's go. Wolves in 5, by the way. We'll just let you know early. We had Bob Sweet in the building right away here. My guy Nick, Skol, man, they better not do us dirty with 2 overseas. Yeah, which I'm cool with. Like, especially we already had the overseas game at home. So if we play the Steelers in Ireland, I was excited that it wouldn't count as a home game because we had to do that last year. And I'm assuming if we were to go back to back, I doubt it will happen. But if we have to go back-to-back games for overseas, I would at least like both of them to be away games. Honestly, I'm okay with back-to-back overseas game as long as both of them are considered away games for us. That's what I meant. Away games for us, home games for the other team. F Europe, the game should be played here because they know it's going to be another early bye week. True. That is true. We have a great group of UDF. Yeah, we do. What else we got in here? Bleeding Purple, I see you. What's up, Billy Dean? I got Mondays off. Nice. Go for Life Barber, my guy. What is up? Who else we got in here? Norris Fies. Yo, Skull Jers. What's going on, my dude? Hey, Delton. Sup, bad motherfuckers. Purple and Gold for life. Love y'all. Hey, Delton. We love you too, brother. Hit that like. You damn straight hit that like. Everybody in here, hit that like button for us. We appreciate it. Mark Phil, what up, my guy? Yes, sir. Hey, let's go. Yeah, I guess. Two-tone, I see you. What's up, my dude? Again, I guess another show, another giveaway, rookie card giveaway, giving away the Dallas Turners, the JJ McCarthy's, the Will Reichard. We're still trying to give a Will Reichard away. That's crazy. It's not like he took any like Deshaun Watson type
Justin Tucker.
massages like some other kickers, aka kickers that got cut from the team today, by the way. So we should
football decisions. Yeah.
for football
Football
decisions. Yeah.
decisions. Yeah.
He did have his worst season he's ever had as a kicker when he's
there may have been a foot.
greatest.
There may have been a foot on some balls. I don't know how he likes it.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, I think at least 3 of the names coming out were guys. Who knows?
He's got to hurt if that's the type of massage he likes, huh?
Make jokes about it, but at the same time, I mean, nothing has came proven yet. I'm on team until proven guilty type of stuff, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of people came out. We'll see how it goes for him. I mean, he's a kicker, but Deshaun Watson got a massive deal in the biggest trade fleece of all time after doing all that. But yeah, get them hashtag Skols in here, like the videos, subscribe if you haven't already, all that good stuff. But yeah, Casey, anything else before we jump into everything here?
No, that's about it. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about any other thing sports related at the end. So yeah, no, I really got nothing. Let's start talking. Let's see. What are we thinking going into minicamp? I mean, is there anything? Because look, rookie minicamp, it's not super exciting, right? I mean,
it's not like last year.
It's probably more exciting when you have when you have a young quarterback, you can see him throw a little bit. I don't know. I mean, you get to see, I guess you get to see the players in the colors, put some, I don't even know. Can they even wear pads during rookie minicamp? I don't think they can.
No.
I don't think they allow any hitting or anything. So yeah. So I guess.
Hey, what up, Devin? Welcome, man.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for dropping in. I guess you do get to see them in the colors. You know, you get to see them kind of with the teammates. You get to see them kind of go through some exercises, some padless drills, all that type of stuff. I mean, it's nothing super exciting. It's just it's just fun to see them get in the building, and then eventually they, I believe next week they do kind of get in with the rest of the team. And when they get into some of the, Dave, what's going on, Dave? It's been a minute. How are you?
Let's go. What up, dude?
But yeah, then they kind of form in or with the rest of the team, and they get into like a full team, OTAs and stuff like that the following weeks. But I guess, yeah, just seeing how Donovan Jackson looks, seeing him go through the drills. I guess I'm kind of excited to see what Max Brosmer looks like. I mean, he'll be throwing. Yeah. He's going to be the one throwing to Ty Felton and some of these other undrafted free agent receivers that we got. So maybe you get to see some. I mean, because there will be enough offensive linemen to kind of form a line to get to see kind of what that looks like. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess for me, I'm just kind of looking. I'm mainly just looking to see how Max Brosmer looks in these practices, being a gopher guy myself.
Yeah, and that's where I'm with you. Like, yeah, this isn't going to be better. Sorry, day one, Donovan Jackson. Speaking of Donovan Jackson, everybody, and I'll put the link at the end of the show. Don't leave now. But we were pretty hard on a Donovan Jackson video on our YouTube channel.
Very hard is the word you meant.
Extremely hard. Casey,
don't shortchange it.
We had to put him on a ventilator. We worked so damn hard on that thing. He puked. He puked.
The grind never stops.
Yep, the grind never stops. So yeah, you guys should definitely go check it out. It's like 4 minutes after this show. We'll put the link in the comments. I know some of y'all probably already seen it, but we appreciate it, and definitely go over there and like the video. We appreciate that too. But I'll bring it up again at the end of the show. But no, like you said, you don't have JJ McCarthy. I mean, you don't even have Dallas Turner. Defensive players are easily the least offensive linemen, defensive players. If there's no pads, it's not as exciting. I guess if you do minicamp specifically, because you're up against rookies. Yeah, if you have a cornerback and they're facing Jordan Addison or JJ or Justin Jefferson or something like that, and then they have some good reps, it's nice to see. Vocal Vike, my dude, what's up?
What's up, Rap?
Gotta help Dave. Or sounds good, bro. Sounds good. But for this year, yeah, no JJ McCarthy, all that stuff. But still, like you already talked about, the undrafted. Hey, appreciate you. We just talked about that. Thanks, Rap. You talked about Max Brosmer, so you do still have a quarterback that we get to watch that we were excited for. Like, I'm still excited. Like, I am team. I think we're both team. Like, our best case scenario now is JJ McCarthy becomes the greatest quarterback who ever lived. And then his backup during that time period is Max Brosmer, who teams were killing to try to get him off this roster. But we ended up, he liked the culture. T-Bass ain't in here yet. He liked the culture so much that he wanted to stay a Viking, just like we're doing with the Brian Flores situation. So that's the best case scenario. So I'm excited to see him sling in. Hopefully we hear some good things from him. Mark Phil, my God, with the 499. Appreciate you. I like what y'all did with the Jackson. Hey, appreciate it. We're going to be doing A bunch more videos, I think, like that. We're gonna give that a real try as far as those types of videos. So that's one thing I think would be different bringing to we think would be different bringing to our spaces. You'll see people make videos somewhat like that for like NFL channels, but I don't really see any specific channels making kind of videos like that. Which I think would be kind of a treat for Viking fans to kind of get someone who makes those type of videos for specifically Viking players. So hey, we'll see what happens. Gary, welcome in. Sup, Skol mates. Let's go. So yeah, Max Brosmer. Obviously, you have Ty Felton. That's going to be someone I think probably if there's one guy going in there that you're excited to really see. You drafted him 3rd round pick. You drafted him probably higher than a lot of people thought. So I think that's a guy that you're gonna if there's one player for sure that I'm hoping comes back and impressed is Ty Felton because he's going to show the speed. I won't be surprised if you hear like, oh, Ty Felton was really fast. You could tell da 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 da. But you want to see like, oh, he actually played well on the ball and caught everything and things like that. Like he's the guy that you're going to be watching with the microscope, I think. And then obviously some of these undrafted guys, the running back, I know what's his name again?
Trey Stewart. Is that what it is?
Trey Stewart. Yeah. But seeing him as well and some of these other undrafted wide receivers that you mentioned. And I know Delton talked about the tight ends that we got. I mean, who knows? Maybe you come back and you do hear I forgot I can't ever say his name, but Gavin, the tight end we got. Yeah. Balamu. If you hear something out of him coming out too, maybe he impresses, but obviously you just want to hear some names pressing, but you got some skill players out there to watch, and you got Max Brosmer. So I'm excited to kind of see them. So it's still exciting. There could have been, if we got any other quarterback, I probably wouldn't have been as excited to have a quarterback in this offseason that's a rookie, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I really do think like the point of the rookie minicamp just gives you an excuse to get all the players in the building, kind of get used to get into the building, get into the facilities.
I didn't know that. Nick.
Find their way around with the vets kind of off doing their own thing, so they kind of have the place to themselves. They can get acclimated to kind of everything in the facility, workout wise. Get out on the field, get together with your teammates. Go do something around town with a bunch of young guys who are new to the area. Max Brosmer can show them around if he wants to. So I really do think that's kind of the whole thing about the rookie minicamp. It's just a weekend where all these guys can kind of get together and just get a feel for everything and how things are going to be for the next, hopefully for them a long time. Obviously, not all of them will make the team or still be here, but it gets you into an NFL facility and you get to kind of see how the day-to-day operations work before, of course, you end up kind of forming in with the rest of the team, and then it can get kind of hectic for these rookies too, at that point. So, again, nothing super exciting, just some light on-field work and all that type of stuff. But yeah,
I'm gonna want to know about quarterback Zemaiah Vaughn and safety Michelle. Is it Mashal? I don't know how his name either. Powell at rookie minicamp. Yeah. And there's that other, what's that other cornerback from
Tommy Hill from
Tommy Hill,
Nebraska,
the one that I think it was Nebraska. Tommy Hill, who Travis Hunter said was one of the most difficult cornerbacks. There was a time where he was projected to be a 1st-round pick. He ran, actually, that's another thing I brought it up on our Bleacher Report show, but Tommy Hill is also ranked as the number 1 most athletic cornerback going into last year's draft on NFL.com. So you go to NFL, you look at his combine, he's considered the number 1 athletic cornerback in the entire draft. So obviously I'll take that extra athleticism.
Right. And we didn't draft a corner. I mean, the Asante Samuel thing at this point kind of seemed to be a bust rumor. Maybe he wants to come here with the medicals, probably not. But you do still feel like more corners are coming. I think was it Nick up here that said, Shaq Griffin was working out in the Vikings gear. I know also Bleacher Report kind of had us pegged as the favorites to sign Rasul Douglas, formerly of the Packers and the Bills, which would be interesting. I mean, 30 years old, but still a solid corner. I believe this last season was like the first year in like 5 or 6 seasons he didn't have an interception. But I still do expect, I mean, look, we have so many young corners on this team. I still do expect a veteran like a Shaq Griffin or a Douglas to come on to still be signed here. What's going on, George? But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if another one of these guys can. I mean, obviously we had one undrafted free agent rookie in McLaughlin make the team last year. And it sounds like they really like him as well. So
Yeah.
we'll,
Oh yeah,
we'll
we
see
like
if
him.
we'll see if Hill can crack the roster. I mean, like you said, super athletic guy. Travis Hunter even said he was one of the best corners he went up against in college. So
Plus, he's
we'll
like 6'203" or
yeah.
something. So you're just
So
getting a
we'll
little
see. I
bit
mean,
more size there.
yeah, and you can never have too many corners, and especially too many young corners that have a potential to be very talented. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting just to hear the names that pop up. But like I said earlier, Felton's going to be that one that, I want. We draft him in the third round. It's going to be a guy this team wanted, and you're hoping you hear things early. Like best case scenario, when you draft a guy in a receiver in the third round, you are hoping that he can be a wide receiver 3 at least, actually, at least a wide receiver 3. So, yeah, we'll see on that. But we can keep rolling here. Obviously, I mean, rookie minicamp, not tons to talk about, especially until after. It'd be different maybe if you had like JJ McCarthy. But like you mentioned, Max Rosmer, Ty Felton, some of these undrafted free agents, a lot of defensive guys. It's hard to hear too many good things because
it's like really because like offensive line, defensive line, you're not going to see much other than just maybe like speed and quickness and drills and whatnot. But outside of that, I mean, receivers, corners, quarterbacks, and running backs, I guess, are kind of what you're looking at because at least there you can get a little bit of, you can kind of go up against each other if you want to. So,
yeah. To JJ McCarthy. So yeah, we haven't talked since he practiced on the field, and we even know, practice on the field. Coaches weren't supposed to be there, whatever, something like that. Obviously, you only saw the good passes. I mean, I'm assuming it was just some light work, but you saw a really nice pass to Jordan Addison, which is always good to see. And then he gets off, has his press conference. Me and you came away from that like any of his where I'm like, yeah, like Harrison Smith says, this kid's like intelligent beyond his years or bright beyond his years, whatever it is. And that's what it feels like with JJ McCarthy. And he does feel confident. He does feel all those things. When I watched that press conference, the last thing I was thinking was like, this kid's shaky and doesn't know how to do press conferences. And then Chase Daniels goes out and says like, he's just like, he's not good at media. He must just not be good at it. And I was just like, what? Did we watch the same thing? What was your take on that?
Yeah, I don't know where he's getting that from. I mean, like you said, it sounds like the guy that we've heard multiple times. And it's just like, yeah, when I heard that, I was shocked. Because, I mean, like you said, I mean, you come away impressed with him talking. I personally still do believe that if he's successful, he's going to be the type of guy that a lot of people are going to get sick of because he's almost too positive. But, I mean, I didn't notice anything that I hadn't noticed before in press conferences. And I've never noticed or thought of him to be shaky or awkward. I still think that there's some level of them that wants to really just keep, who's not bad at press conferences? Aaron Rodgers. So if they want a quarterback that's good at press conferences, they should bring in Aaron Rodgers. I still think they're somehow trying to push
I know.
that. And I don't know, because of them, because of them and because of the McCarthy versus Rodgers discourse, I feel like there's already some people out there that are just waiting for that first mistake of McCarthy to jump on everybody else and be like, see, I told you they should have signed Rodgers. This kid isn't any good. Like, I feel like, unfortunately, that whole conversation and now this adding onto it from the same people that started the Aaron Rodgers story, I feel like all of this stuff together is just, it's almost like building this group of people that want to believe everything's wrong with McCarthy because we're too afraid to move on to a young quarterback. I don't really know, but it's just, it's frustrating. Like, it's just really, really stupid at the end of the day. Like, there's nothing about him that's ever made me think like this kid isn't competent. Like, he's competent all the time.
Yeah. And I don't really recognize his voice quivering. Maybe it was, but we've seen him enough in front of the media by now. If you're obviously a Viking fan and watched pretty much all of JJ McCarthy's press conferences and through all of them, it never seemed like he's nervous. So even if his voice was quivering a little bit here, which first off, there's people that just hate. I mean, obviously, like Marshawn Lynch, like there's tons of people that just don't like the media or whatever, but I don't even think he's one of those people. He always seems confident to me. And speaking about confidence, he's came out and said, or what was that was a press conference where they asked him, do you think you're ready to be the number one quarterback for the Vikings? Yep. And then he says, I know I'm ready. Like there's no quivering there. That's not scripted there. Like,
yeah, and he's like, it's not, there's not a lot of like ums and ahs when he talks. Like he feels all the time when he talks. I don't know.
What up, Dylan?
Yeah, these people like I don't. I mean, I didn't listen to him enough to notice like, oh, his voice quivered at this line. Like, I don't listen to that because like you just, I don't know.
You didn't see. You just you
No,
can kind of
it's really
just
stupid.
tell.
It's a stupid narrative that we're going off that he was first off like this is his like what third press conference with the Vikings media overall, and then
Third or
even
fourth.
the something that you didn't that I noticed with him is like when someone asked him a question, at least he studied the media, he knows who he's talking to because he would like Kevin Seifert asked him a question. That's a good question, Kevin, and then he answered it like so he would like call these people out like by their names when answering the questions, and that's not. Like that's something that people who are comfortable in media settings do, and like in public speaking, is they're really good about telling that person, like saying that person's name to put a face.
I mean, if
to the
you're
name
just
when
aware
like,
about other people,
yeah,
instead of
it's just like
yourself in that situation, because if you're super nervous, you're probably not caring about anybody else.
So
at
yeah,
that
you don't
point.
know who you're forgetting people's names, saying them wrong,
Easily.
not
I
answering
do it
questions
on this
correctly.
show. I'm not even that nervous.
I don't know.
All the time.
It's really, and he'll get. I mean, and if he does have some issues with the media, he'll get better at it. But I just didn't see anything to make me think like, oh boy, this kid, if he can't talk to the media, how's he going to play football? Like,
No.
I don't know.
So yeah, that's crazy. But obviously, yeah, we saw the confidence. We saw the confidence when he was at the golf thing about saying he's a winner and all those things. So I'm not worried about that. Another huge positive things is that he said that he's 110% ready. They asked him if he's I don't know if they just asked him where he's at or if he's 100%, and he said he's 110% because he feels better than he did before the injury, which people say that all the time, and he's coming off an injury, and I know he's working really hard, and people talked about him losing weight, and then he gained it back up in 2.5 weeks, he says. But Kevin O'Connell came out and he was on a bunch of people's show this past weekend. He was on what's her name specifically though?
Kay Adams. And that's another thing. That's another thing. If JJ McCarthy, I know he's got a girlfriend. I'm sure he loves her. But if he can make it through an interview with Kay Adams at that golf event and not be nervous, you can make it past an interview with anybody. Anyway, go on.
Facts. Kevin O'Connell said the same thing there, though, that JJ McCarthy looks like he's better than he was beforehand. So it looks like, I don't know, all glowing great things about JJ McCarthy. He's ready. Anybody worried about him being ready by week 1 is obviously completely out the window. He's going to be ready by next week when minicamp comes around, and we should be able to see some stuff on the field. So that's super exciting. What do you expect them to say? I mean, they don't need to say 110%. They can just say, or they don't have to say I was better than before my injury. You could just say like I'm ready to go. Like most
there was
people.
There was a Macho Man Randy.
What up,
Savage,
T-Bass, by the way?
They asked him how he's feeling. He's like, I'm 1,000,000%, and that's better than 100%. Like that's what he's got to go Macho Man on it.
Yeah. And you could easily just say, 100%. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can say. You don't have to like over exaggerate. You can just say you're good or whatever. But hey, who knows? But yeah, so I don't know, man. So I'm just, it's JJ McCarthy time. That's what that showed. Hopefully he can stay healthy. It doesn't seem like there's any reason not to. That's always a big plus. To like everything that he's gone through is, he's probably went through so many different type of like exercises, just becoming more flexible, and as far as like just making sure your body's more prepared for the season, hopefully that is the case for him. Luckily at this point, it's hindsight's 2020, and at the time I believed it too. He's young, but you are definitely happy he got the full repair, and there should be no reason for any setbacks or anything like that. So he's good to go. And he's good to go on probably you can arguably say this is the best offense we've probably ever seen outside the question mark that is
on paper, absolutely.
Paper.
On paper, that it's hard to say on paper that offensive line should be better because they played well enough last year, but that playoff offensive line, it's hard to get much worse than that.
Yeah, that's right.
Upgraded at the middle at every spot with bigger guys who have proven to be better. Yeah.
Whoa, chill, George. Are you a Warriors fan? I think you're out in California. I know that. I think you are in that point, but no, I'm not worried about. We'll get into it. We'll save some of that. So save that. We'll come back on that T-Wolves stuff. Cause I ain't scared.
There's storylines, man. There's storylines everywhere in that series.
That's why we need to talk about a little bit. We need to talk about that Wolves game a little bit at the end here. Anyways,
why no matter what, I will not be going to any of their games this playoff season.
Yeah, Casey. So if y'all really want to know, any Wild fans in here, Casey is the reason why we lost.
Yep. I went to 2 Twins playoff games 2 years ago. They lost. Went to the Wild game last Thursday. They lost. So staying away from the Wolves.
Wolves in 5. We'll get into it in a bit, but Wolves in 5. Physically play last year's main issue was adjusting the speed of the NFL. That takes time for every young quarterback. Main issue was whoa. Hey, he's been watching. I know. Yeah. I know.
I dropped like $100 on a hat and a sweatshirt because I didn't have any Wild gear, but I dropped $100 on a hat and a sweatshirt. And yeah, but hey, at least now I have a nice hat and a sweatshirt for next season when I try to stay away.
Dude, I went back and watched.
I'm not a big hockey guy normally, but
yeah. Hey, it's playoff hockey.
Playoff sports in general is just different, man. Playoff basketball just all feels different.
Oh, dude. And I don't know. I went back actually today and Ant has like a series he's dropping, and it's pretty.
I haven't watched that, but I saw him post it.
It's pretty damn good. I went back and watched like the 4 episodes that are on there. Man, they put in work on the editing and everything. They made it. It's really well done. It might as well just been a Netflix little series or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Vikings before we just dive into some Timberwolves stuff. We're going to have plenty of time. There wasn't a ton to talk about. Again, everybody giving away Dallas Turner rookie cards. We do have these Dallas Turner patches that nobody has claimed yet. Obviously, more JJ McCarthy, Will the Thrill, all that good stuff.
Whoever wins tonight just has to take a Will Reichard card. You absolutely have to. It's bad. It's a bad omen.
Hashtag Skol in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, I know you definitely should. I mean, we need some luck. We need some Will Reichard luck here. Going into another big thing that I mentioned earlier that was kind of some conflict within Viking fandom was Andrew Van Ginkel got an extension. I don't think anybody cared about that. But the extension was for 1 year, $23 million. I think 20 to 21 million was the cap hit on that.
It's going to be 11. It's 11 million this year and 11.4 this year, 19.4 next year.
Okay.
And then there's three void years, 8.8, 3.4, 2 million for the next 3 seasons after that. So,
okay. That's good to know. So anyway, so 19 next year. I thought they would push a little bit more on this year's potentially, now that you said that.
Yeah, I mean, because what was it supposed to be initially? Like a few
10
million this year? Was it 10?
Like 10 million. So they
added
like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're still planning on something big. But anyways, just about that, like, so one thing, kicker card is wild. One thing is, you knew, and anybody on here, and I guess probably I just expect a lot of Viking fans also in this area, as far as we just wanted, and I wanted an extension. That, like, as soon as the season ended, I was like, extend Andrew Van Ginkel for at least 1 more year, because he is that good on this team. He's that much different in because there's a couple things that have happened. Once we give him that 1 year extension, 23 million, you had one, you're like, oh, you're paying him 23 million for 1 year. Like, that's kind of weird or whatever. And then the other one was Dallas Turner isn't good. He's not what they expected. Dallas Turner is going to be a bust. The reality is, with Andrew Van Ginkel, he brings you something none other of these players have, which is more of a guy that can play in coverage on the outside. He's more of a prototypical 3-4. Hopefully, you saw a little bit of Dallas Turner. He had an interception last year, but not in the same way that Andrew Van Ginkel does. And then on top of that, just my opinion, I'll throw it to you. After that is just Andrew Van Ginkel in general deserved to get played more money. I mean, getting 2 years, 20 million, $10 million a year. He played like a $25 million player last year. You feel like you have to give him something.
Yes, absolutely.
He deserves a raise. When you play that well, you give him a raise. Otherwise, why would players want to stick around? He's getting way underpaid, and you're just doing him a service. It's a chess play, as far as, like, you're going to give him 23 million that year, but obviously like as you said, they moved $4 million in other places. I was thinking they would do a little bit more than that. But he's worth at least $20 million a year right now. And you got him for 3 years at 14 million, all said and done, which he more than deserves. And I'm more than happy for him to get that money, because I'd rather see him on this team that year than him leave.
And the contract doesn't look that crazy in comparison. Like he signed, where was that? Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, like you said, just the way that he played this last season, 100% deserved a pay raise. I mean, 11 and a half double-digit sacks and 2 pick sixes. Like, look, do I expect him to have those stats again this year? No. I mean, 2 pick sixes is pretty unreal. Could have had more. You could just tell he has a good feel for knowing quarterbacks are going to make those, short passes to the outside that he can jump. And do I expect him to even maybe have as many sacks as he had this last year? No, because I do expect a big jump from Dallas Turner, which is another kind of aspect you can talk about with this. But yeah, I mean, when a player plays well and you want him on your team, you reward them with more money. Kwesi did mention that they wanted to sign him to a 3-year contract initially, but another team was in there for 2 years, probably a little bit more money, so they had to be competitive, cut it back to 2 years. And then obviously he played well enough that first year. He likes it here enough. Flores is going to stick around, earns that extension. And I remember there was a guy at work who asked if I thought that this extension was some sort of a knock on Dallas Turner. And I don't think so. And Kwesi talked about that as well. How, he said that Dallas Turner can play like the traditional off-ball linebacker role as well. He said, we want to try to find instances in which we can have all 3 of these guys on the field at the same time. But I really do think that, Van Ginkel, and he also mentioned freshness. Like, we don't want Grenard and Van Ginkel each playing 80 to 90% of the defensive snaps. Like, we need somebody else to take a role here. But you're getting a veteran guy who's seen it all in Van Ginkel, but he's not going to need to play as much because Dallas Turner is going to take some of those snaps this year because he's going to develop. They've talked about him. Multiple people have talked about how they expect him to take that next step up. Like, I know T-Bass said, what do you expect them to say? But Kevin O'Connell, unprompted, brought him up in one of his press conferences. So
yeah, you don't have to say that.
No. Yeah.
It's different when someone asks you a question and then you're like, give them the answer they want to hear or whatever, compared to like for no reason. It's just why blow extra smoke? You don't have to do that.
I'm pretty sure that they were talking about the defense. He's like, I still want people to forget about Dallas Turner, who we think is going to take a big leap this year. And we saw it the reason that he didn't have those Jared Verse type numbers is because he didn't need to play as much as Jared Verse did. Like Van Ginkel and Grenard, they took up a lot of those snaps.
To be fair,
how do you pull those guys off the field as much? So if he were to have an equal snap count, or if you put him on the Rams, maybe he's putting up the stats.
Maybe I want to say that he did put up really good stats.
Did he? 4 sacks. Van Ginkel had what? 3?
Who?
Jared Verse. Jared Verse like 4 sacks.
He had more than that, didn't he?
No, he didn't. No. I think he had like 4 sacks. So it's like he may have had more impact, bigger body, 24 years old, playing on a defense that needed him to start, where this team did not. So I don't know. With this defense unable to get pressure up the middle, you got to have the 2 guys that are showing you they can get to the quarterback more and they're being more impactful on that defense. I think it was more of a necessity to have to play those 2 than it was because Turner wasn't going to step up. So I don't know.
He had 6 sacks. He also had an 86.2 overall PFF grade with 83.7. So he just had so that's the thing. Like like Jared Verse.
More reps will get you more stats.
Which 86 is not based off of reps really, but you could get like if you got an 86 grade or whatever.
Well, I mean, I don't give a shit about the grade. I'm just saying like the stats.
Yeah, which is fair. I'm not saying that Turner couldn't have done that, but I do want to say that Verse, in my opinion, like Verse did a really good. He was way better than was expected, and you don't see a lot of guys come in.
I'm just saying the comparison to me is stupid. Like saying like, well, look what Verse did. Why isn't Turner doing that? Because different situation.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should say that, and there's a chance that he could come in, but I also say nobody's coming in and being as good as Verse did, even though he was out there. It's just a reality, like. I don't know. I can't say, like we've said this before, like I'm hoping Dallas Turner can eventually be as impactful as Verse was, which I do think, I think he definitely can be, and he's much younger than Verse is, but I don't want to like shortchange Verse either because there's a lot of players that didn't.
No one did. No one here shortchanged Verse. I'm just saying stop comparing him to Jared Verse. And they're different players. Jared Verse is strictly a pass rusher.
Right.
Did Jared Verse have an interception? No. Do you know why Dallas Turner had an interception? Because they're using him. They're using him in a different type of role. So it's a more complex defense. It's a more complex defense to learn than just line up here. You see the quarterback, go get him. That's your only job. Like Turner had other things that they were trying to get him to learn in this defense.
Yeah, and I think he's going to step up for sure. I think that no question in my mind that Dallas Turner has a higher ceiling and then a lot of these guys, and he is 3 years younger, so he has a lot of time to improve and get better. And like you said, like the reality with him is there's too much even though it's kind of same as this year, and that's why you brought up Andrew Van Ginkel. Like I don't think you see as much playing time out of a guy like Van Ginkel. Like you're going to see more Dallas Turner on this team. Like we want Dallas Turner to kind of be like the main guy if possible. So I do think you're going to see a lot of that out of him. I do think that there was definitely room for him to grow. And I do think he did need to grow in some areas, but all the physical traits were there. And he did show enough to be excited about. And especially that interception was huge, especially the last handful of games. We all saw him just get better and better there. So I am excited there. But I would Jared Verse he was second in hurries and fourth in total pressures. So,
but again, still, he's an having to come in, having to play a lot. It's a different type of. He's a
different type of guy for sure. Like you said, he ain't going to be covering probably.
And then of course they were asking. I mean, they asked Jonathan Grenard about Turner and what he's done, and he said, yeah, like Turner this offseason, as we've seen, has been putting in the work. That no one's asking him to do that. Like he doesn't have to. Like, he can just. He's got to stay in shape, but he doesn't have to go out and work on all these pass rush techniques and put in the extra work like that. But he's out there doing it. He's asking for advice. They said like he's learning. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. That's the first thing. Like a lot of people are concerned with these players. Like, do they actually care? And is that why they're not, making an impact right away? He cares. It's just having to find the role on the team, which this next year. Especially, I mean, Flores mentioned it himself too. It's like, yeah, we did have to talk to him about the way that he practices and the way that he learns things because there's adjustments you need to make. And maybe Flores didn't think he was doing it the right way, but it doesn't mean that he wasn't trying. He was just trying to do it his own way. So I don't know. I just think all the people that are so worried about Turner not turning out and making an impact,
Turner not turning out,
yeah, and wanting him to be all Jared Verse, like it's a different story. He's, as someone said, more versatile than Jared Verse is as it comes to playing within the defense. And not at all short housing Jared Verse or shortchanging Jared Verse. Because yes, big body. I mean, he was first round pick. A lot of people projected him to go to the Vikings, but they were looking for a different type of player, and that's what they got in Turner.
Yeah,
because Grenard's going to be your pin your ears back and go get the quarterback guy. Like that's his job,
right?
For sure.
And Dallas Turner will definitely get he'll get his opportunities for that as well.
Yeah,
Turner to me is like an outside linebacker with pass rush upside.
Exactly. They can play him like at any linebacker spot on the field.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Mama says stupid is stupid does. He's going to be there. He's going to be there better than Verse. I mean, if he is, that's the thing is like Verse is, like I said, I mean, he had a really, really good season, like better than pretty much most. The reality is he had one of the better rookie seasons that you'll probably really get out of a defensive end pass rusher coming out of college in general. And that's just is what it is. Who knows? I mean, you see that stuff sometimes and then they kind of have their sophomore slump or whatever. But he's just a stud. That's it. And I would like, to me, honestly, like I'm hoping that we can have that same amount of impact from Turner. And I hope he does. I think he can, but like, I'm not saying like it's, for me, I could definitely understand why people are just like, oh, we should have just picked a Verse or something like that. The reality is he's always going to be compared to Verse. Verse was picked after him. We could have went and got Verse. You do want Turner to be as good, at least as good as Verse from an impactful standpoint. Different players, but we're talking about impactful.
But also Kwesi has said in his time, like you want to get a player in before it becomes a need. So when that edge rusher or when that spot for him does become a need, he's going to be 23 years old and have 2 to 3 full seasons under his belt. So when he needs to become like a main level starter, like you need, like, I don't know. I just think the whole thing is just Vikings fans wanting to panic about our draft picks aren't good. Quasi can't draft. It's bad. It's
Yeah,
bad.
no.
He's not going to be any good. Like,
right. I mean, those same fans
now.
are the ones that wanted him to legit get. I'm sorry, I'm probably talking to some of you all in here, but wanted Quasi to get fired, and then he does everything he did this last offseason, and people are just like, oh, okay, or whatever. I didn't realize that's what the plan or whatever. It's like, so that's the thing, is like people are just wanting Quasi to. People just want some people just want to see people fail. Some people just
Or be
want them to
mad.
fail.
Like,
It takes
there's
one
there's a
thing, they
lot
do
of
one
fans
thing wrong, and all of a sudden, like, you're not a. It's like that world of not letting people get better at stuff.
Mhm.
Like it
Instant
takes a
gratification.
quarterback can come in and suck his first year. Peyton Manning was the most sack. I mean, it's not completely his fault, but had like a mid-year his first rookie year, and then goes out and becomes one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Like, you have to let people grow. Just because Quasi had one shitty draft, and then he's just pretty much aced every other part about being a GM, and then people want him out right before his plan starts. They see what his plan is, and then you're like, oh, that's why we should have waited.
Yeah. And they're just people that just like to be mad, like people just want to go on Twitter and complain. Like, you notice some Twitter fans who are, very like everything that they tweet is so like, oh, Minnesota sports this, it sucks, blah, blah, blah. And then these teams start playing well and they're just gone from Twitter. It's like, you can say positive things about your team too, not just when things are going poorly. So, yeah, I don't know. There's some people that literally just want to be mad. And I don't know how you make it through your miserable lives if you just want to be upset with everything. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But things are going good here. Obviously, overall, Andrew Van Ginkel extension, big plus. I mean, you're making sure and that at the end of the day, I think my biggest takeaway on that is, in my opinion, I just think these next 3 years are the most important stretch. Of course, JJ McCarthy ends up being who we want him to be. His rookie contract's over. We can still pay him and make a good team around him, whatever. But the next 3 years is what I think is our best opportunity, our best window. I think that window can extend. I just think the sweet spot is in the next 3 years, and getting Andrew Van Ginkel for another year just makes that window just even better. Like, you'll have him for the next 2 years, so at least the next 2 seasons out of those 3. So yeah, I don't know. I think I think that was definitely a good move. Make this team as stacked as possible for the next 3 years, and let's go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
year.
Yep.
Early, 1 year earlier, just like the
it.
Timberwolves are going to win a championship this year.
It'd still be crazy to think, like, of all teams, if the Wolves find the way to be the first one to win it all, like, that'd just be
literally arguably the worst franchise in
know.
all of sports.
Yeah,
Until now, because of Anthony Edwards.
And honestly, like, going back to the Wild, like, I honestly don't know if we can call ourselves, Minnesota can call itself the state of hockey anymore. Like, I get it, close to Canada, you got the, everyone loves the, like, high school hockey tournament, all that type of stuff. But I mean, we haven't won anything in hockey since what, the freaking Bulldogs. And the Wild, did you see the Wild are the first team in Big Four sports history, the only team to make the playoffs in like 8 out of 10 years and never advance past the first round.
Well, what's even sad about that is I'm pretty sure we were on a hell of a stretch before that one win. Like, before that win, I'm pretty positive we were on a long stretch of getting into playoffs and losing in the first round. So yeah. I want to see what the last 12 years look like.
Yeah, but it's bad. It's getting to like Twins level, like 19 game losing streak playoffs type bad.
Yeah.
Like, and the bad thing, like, the last couple of years that I've watched, like, they've had games where you're just like, man, they look like the better team out on the ice. They're putting up a ton of points. Like this last game, like, we had 2 games against Vegas where we outscored them 5-2. And then after those 2 games, they come out playing a little hot because they're losing, and they punch you in the mouth and you never really recover. Like, we hung in there. The Wild hung in there for a lot of those games, but just couldn't find a way to get it done, and lost 2 games in overtime and then lost the one at home. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's sad though. It's like 8 out of 10 years making the playoffs and not advancing past the first round. It's just,
but good
it's bad.
news on the horizon. Both Ryan Suter and Zach Parese's contracts are up after
Yep.
this year. We can actually go make some moves, and you got some cornerstone players in
right. I mean,
Kaprizov and Boldy. So
yeah, well, because they have Boldy and Eriksson Ek signed through 2030. Kaprizov needs a new deal. Like his expires next year, so
which
you
I'm
get
assuming
that done.
He'll get right away.
Oh yeah, he'll get top dollar. You get that done this year, and then obviously they got Faber and Bouillon. They're two young defensemen too, who are going to be really, really good as well.
Yeah,
so they have to. It's just
100%.
And again, I'm not a big hockey guy, but from what I understand, they just need scoring depth on the second and third lines. Like that's really like the thing that's missing, and maybe a couple other defensemen too. Like just that's what's missing to put them over the hump. But again, they in classic Minnesota sports fashion, because you got to be happy about something. They hung in there with the team that many predict to win the Stanley Cup this year. So It is what it is.
With Nick here, I was just want to say, like, that's got to be probably the most underrated thing about this team. If anybody's on the outside looking in at this team in general, offense or defense, but especially offense, is just the difference this run game should be with a good offensive line, especially a good offensive line in the run game. Man, it could complete. I mean, what Kevin O'Connell has been able to do with Sam Darnold, with the team we have, with honestly a really, really mid run game, has been really impressive. And there's just so many times, because people kept saying like Kevin O'Connell doesn't run enough. And I'd be like, dude, I don't know if y'all are watching the same thing I am, but half the runs are getting blown up at the line of scrimmage. How many times you want to see 0 yards before you're just fuck running? That's what I was thinking, especially in the red zone, last year in the red zone.
But yet somehow we still had an 1,100-yard rusher in Aaron Jones, who I think he had like 1,500 all-purpose yards, didn't he?
I
thought he had
something like that.
Something like that. But still, I think the big thing that I'm excited to see is just the changes in short yardage and goal line, because you have a bigger offensive line and you have a body like Jordan Mason, who you feel like a guy who's not going to get stuffed a lot. He's not really a dancer. He's get the ball, make your cut, find the hole, go. So I think those two, like, because for me, like, you still had an 1,100-yard rusher. You still had some big runs in there. My main concern is, can you do it at the goal line? Because that was a big issue with us last year.
And the red zone. It was a goal line and the red zone in general.
Well, yeah. But that's kind of like my biggest area that I want to see improvement. Because like Kevin O'Connell doesn't need to throw a 30-yard 3rd and 1 play if he's able to just run it up the gut and get a yard with a guy like Jordan Mason, who I think is going to be a much better fit for those type of runs than Aaron Jones is going to.
Yeah.
So,
and even though, I get it. We had some good yards. Aaron Jones still had over 1,000 yards, but not like it was go find me a stat how many yards we were getting in the red zone per touch, because Aaron Jones had his games. He broke out some runs as Aaron Jones. He's going to do that, but it's not like you can have, I don't care. You can have 2 60-yard touchdowns and a 50-yard touchdown or whatever. But if half the time you run the ball and you're getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage and you're in the red zone, like that's still a huge issue. Even if you're getting tons of yards everywhere else, it's not all running is the same. Like if you're getting stuffed in the red zone every single time, obviously I prefer what we did last year with our run game. But it just wasn't good enough all the time. There's way too often were we getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Like we didn't have that push, that forward momentum on this team from our running game.
Yeah, too weak on the offensive line. But even though that's the thing, even though you weren't getting yards, you still had to do it, because otherwise teams then would just drop back into coverage and play you that way. So you still had to show you were willing to try. But yeah, it needs to be better to make this offense a little more efficient in the red zone. Because just think about that: if you can run the ball at short yardage, how much easier is that going to teams? Then you're way more unpredictable than you were before. Where they're just like, oh, they can't. Their offensive line can't block our front four, so we send our front four out there and we drop our guys back into coverage and go from there. Or now if we can actually get a short yardage goal line run game, then it's gonna be like then we become that much more unpredictable, especially with the receiving weapons that we have. So yeah, that's kind of I don't care about the running game overall. I just want to see what those. I mean, I do, but I just want to see the improvements in short yardage, red zone, goal line type stuff. That's where I want to see the change.
Right. And T-Bass, I just don't think it was. I don't think it was a running back problem.
It was a necessity.
It was an offensive line problem.
A necessity to keep your offense moving.
Yeah. But I do think it was an offensive line problem more than it was our running backs.
Yeah.
Especially in that area of the field.
But it will be nicer to have a bigger body
Yeah,
with
a
some
bigger
speed.
in having him and
Yeah,
Aaron Jones, but
and
plus
Mason.
on top of
Yeah,
that having a because even with Madison, we weren't doing great with him either. The last few years with him as well. But with it, Aaron Jones and Mason
and
and
a
the
beefy
offensive
interior. Yeah,
line, yeah. Like it's going to be way better. Like just for momentum. Like I just want to be able to have the ability to have. It doesn't matter which running back you have back there. You're getting like 2 yards no matter what. That's what we need. We need something like that. Yeah, the line couldn't run block for shit major change. Yeah, dude. So I'm excited. Oh, and Nuggets in 6. I don't know how I'm trying to, and we
I'd
can get
rather,
into.
I'd rather play your Nuggets
You
than I
think so?
would
Let's get
Oklahoma
into
City.
it in a second here. We're gonna get into some basketball stuff. But everybody in here, get your hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. We'll give away one of these cards here soon. So, getting to basketball, I guess with the Nuggets thing, you can go off what you were just saying, which was
I
you were
mean,
gonna like.
we've had their number this year, and last year, like we've been really good against the Nuggets as of late. I feel like they win. I feel like Oklahoma City just has another one of those. Like they're still young, right? They're still kind of a growing team. I just feel like Denver gets it done. But man, we've been so good. I'd rather play Denver than Oklahoma City.
So wait, I'd rather not play Timberwolves. So he'd rather not. You'd rather.
Yeah,
You
he's
rather.
worried.
You
He
rather
would be
play the
worried about
Nuggets.
playing the Wolves. Yes,
But you'd rather play the Nuggets.
I'd rather play the Nuggets. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
For
different. So I
he's
don't.
saying for the same reasons, just because the Wolves have looked really good against the Nuggets since last playoff. Since the
Yeah.
playoff
Okay.
season
I
ended,
gotcha.
yeah,
But we've also played really good against the Thunder.
true. And I think
I mean, not
I think
as
they
good
said,
because we've really played good against the Nuggets, but
yeah, I think they said the Thunder are 8-8 against every team that's left in the Western Conference right now, and like 60-8 against the others, or whatever, however that record would turn out. So again, they might be one of those teams that's really good against everybody outside of like their division,
yeah.
and
I'm
bad
just
against
glad
everybody.
that those teams are against each other because those are two teams I didn't want to play at all. Because even like no matter what with Jokic or Jokic,
Yeah,
Nikola
Jokic.
Jokic, whatever.
Is Murray even playing, or is he still hurt?
I don't even know. I'm assuming he's playing. I think he's
I
playing.
don't, is he okay? And then Aaron
Um,
Gordon, who all of a sudden last playoff season remembered how to shoot a 3-pointer. I don't know.
yeah, I know against us. But yeah, no, he's so no matter what with Jokic, it's always tough. And like kind of like the same way you put it against like, hey, it's a more veteran led team against the Thunder who's young. They lost to the Mavericks last year's series as well. And obviously they have a really good overall team. They're technically, I think they're the top team in football or in basketball. But that's the thing. Like I'm with you. Like I could see the Nuggets winning that, but I don't know. There's something about playing against Jokic that just kind of sucks.
For sure. But like every time we play him, he goes off for like 40 to 60 points, and nobody else really does much.
Does anything?
Like
Yeah.
that's
So
kind of Westbrook
that's going to be a really good
crystal layup, and
series.
whatever. But yeah, that'll be. But as for the Wolves, though, it's like I'm just like looking at all the storylines in this one. Like first off, he got Jimmy, and again, I think this may have quelled a little. I doubt it. Jimmy Butler coming back to Minnesota. I mean, obviously, Cat's not here anymore, which is kind of the big catalyst
I
to
think
that.
Nas here.
Nas was.
So
No, maybe
Nas
he
would have
wasn't.
been the only player
Yeah.
on this team.
I mean, but
The,
either way, so you got
I don't even
him
know
coming
who it
here.
was.
So the fans will still remember. You got Draymond and Rudy, which is gonna be fun. And then you got just like a normal, like no like grudges or anything like that. But I think Steph and Ant are gonna be really interesting to watch. I mean,
Yeah,
Steph didn't look very good last night. I know he's got the hand wrap, so it looks
he
like
got
there might
better
be
later.
it looks like there might be, who knows how his hands feeling right now, but I don't know. I just, again, this is one of those things where I just think this team
He does.
is deep. And like the only reason that we were, underachieving, kind of underappreciated like middle of the year was just because the team chemistry wasn't built yet. And then March, everything started to click, right? Like Randall came back from his injury. Like
Who they've
look,
won what 38? They're like 38-8 or something with
yeah.
Randall.
And like again, you can love Karl Anthony Towns, but you can't sit here and tell me that for depth purposes, that the trade didn't work out for both sides. Honestly, like you can't sit here with a straight face and tell me that's the case. I mean, Randall is he Karl Anthony Towns in general? Like no, like Towns is a unicorn. We all know that, like big guy who can do whatever. But Randall's been playing really, really well since he kind of found his role on the team. And then that also added Dante coming off the bench, who didn't look great in the Lakers series, but he's when he's on from three, and he's scrappy, and that's what I like to watch. Like, he's a guy who's scrappy on defense. So like you have so much, like you're coming off the bench. You have him, you have Alexander Walker, and you have Naz Reid. Like that's pretty damn good for three guys coming off the bench.
Yeah, and it's something that we were missing from the guard position is someone that could come out and play, or who could just score. And Dante, he's been kind of a little bit up and down, but he can score. You have to worry about him for sure, especially from behind the arc. That's something that we were missing. That was our biggest problem throughout last season, throughout last year's playoffs, is we just didn't have a scorer coming off the bench. Other than, I mean, you can get that from Alexander Walker, from Nas. You can get that from Nas, obviously, for coming as a big. Yeah, but now we needed somebody else. We needed someone who could do that, who was also a ball handler, and that's what you do get from Dante. So
and again, that's a pest on defense too,
and like a pest on, both everybody on this team. That's the biggest thing between us and the Warriors. And you mentioned the Steph Curry Ant thing. Obviously, the whole idea of Ant's the legend killer. So Steph Curry is the next one on that list, which is perfect. And yeah, I mean, I think we should beat them. I know Delton brought it up. Yeah, Anthony Edwards is the Grim Reaper to the Nuggets. He's a menace. I know Delton brought it up as far as the Warriors game 7, a bunch of old guys. Like, I don't think, like, Draymond's he's gotta be getting freaking tired out there. But a bunch of old guys after a game 7, 1 day off. Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge benefit. Not just that, but even just Rudy. If Rudy can play anywhere close to what he did in that last game, anywhere close to what he played in that last game and how he ended the season, definitely not the way he played the first 4 games.
No,
then Golden State is going to have a real problem because they have no size on that team. Kevin Looney is like their biggest guy, I think, and there should be a massive disadvantage there. What I could hear, I didn't watch every game I only watched really watched the whole thing from start to finish, was the last game between Houston and the Warriors. But what it sounds like is Rockets destroyed Golden State on the boards. I have no reason to believe that we couldn't do that same thing, which is a big reason why we beat the Lakers, especially in that last game, because we were getting so many boards. And that's what Randall does bring you compared to even Cat, is he's someone that does go after a lot of boards, and he's just physical to go get them and things like that. So I think that's going to be the difference maker between us and this tired Warriors team, is honestly just rebounding. And if Rudy can step up.
Yeah, and we had a lot of offensive rebounds since 43s bounced off the rim. So there's opportunity because going 7 of 47 from 3 is, well, that's embarrassing, but we had to witness that. But yeah, like you said, because of that, Rudy had to step up and make some big plays. An aggressive Rudy is a competent Rudy, and that's a good Rudy. That's the Rudy you want on your team. And Julius Randle, like, the thing I like about him is when things are when things are kind of slow and no one's really making a move, he's the guy that'll just take the ball and say, "F it, I'm just gonna go do it myself." And he's huge. He's a big tough guy, bodies his way in there, gets some points, gets some momentum flowing. So
yep.
I don't know.
Something we didn't have. Cat couldn't do that.
And that's just the big thing. He just needed to find his role and find that chemistry. And again, coming back from that injury, he found it. And here we are. And he is going to make himself a ton of money next year. Don't know where it's going to be, but he's going to, I mean, there's no chance he takes that 30 million player option now, because he's going to go out there and get a huge contract and get paid, and deservedly so. Like, deservedly, he kind of had a bet on him, not a bet on himself. So he got traded, but he kind of had the, type of season where he needed to prove himself. And I know, so he didn't get to play in the playoffs last year. Last time he was in, he didn't play very well. And now he is playing very, very well. So yeah, good for him. He's going to get paid and he deserves it.
Yeah. And hopefully he can keep it up. Cause did you see his numbers? His averages were like 17. So in 17 playoff games or something like that, his averages were like 17 points per game, which is good enough, I guess, but was like 29% from the field or something stupid like that, like really low from the 3. And now he's hitting like 50% from the field, like 39% from 3, averaging 22 or 23 points per game. And then obviously him just finding his role as a playmaker, and this is the biggest thing. And same with Rudy. That's like with Rudy, like, he just needs to his role needs to be getting boards. Like, he's just better because that's one thing people say that was big difference between Rudy stepping up, is they like told Rudy he has to go get boards. Like, I wouldn't even worry about scoring. It's like if your main focus is to get boards, then it seems, at least based on his points, that the points will come with that.
Yeah.
Because he can just go get the ball and slam it down. So instead of like worrying so much about kind of getting the oops and things like that, I think that's what you got to do. And same with Randall's. Obviously, he's in moments where we really need him, he's stepped up to kind of bully the ball in there and score that way. But him becoming more of a facilitator on this offense instead of trying to be one of the top, even though it's worked out for him recently, but like purposely going out there and forcing to be like a kind of an like an ant guy who needs to have the ball in his hands and be a ball dominant type of dude. It seems like it's just worked better for this team. And then we just need, of course, Ant. He went 0 for 11 on 3-pointers, and if he makes any of those, or even a handful of those, if he makes 39.5% like he did all season long of those, then that Lakers game would have been completely blown out of the water.
Yeah, which it should have been.
Hopefully he steps up.
7 of 47 from 3 is embarrassing. It's got it for Christmas. It's branded Bills. It's a golf hat, so it's a little golf club at the bottom. But yeah, I don't know. I think they just make hats. Yeah, I never heard of them. My mom said it was my brother wanted one. I heard it was a deal, I guess, a buy one get one, or buy one get one half off. So yeah,
it's a Brooklyn Nets fan. That's the hat.
No. Nah.
All right, everybody, we're gonna start the giveaway going here. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, let me drop this in here. Get those in. Let's see.
Tim Conley. Yeah, it's funny. Every time he makes a trade, everyone just hates on him. Like, oh, he's terrible, G, or whatever his position is. Like, he's not doing anything right. Yada 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 yada. Well, so far, I would say both of his trades seem to have worked out pretty well.
And everybody in here, if y'all want to do us a huge solid, and after the show, check out our video and like it. Go and watch it. If you're going it, just go through the whole thing, because it kind of ruins the algorithm if you like leave it right away. It's only like 4 minutes. Like it for us, that'd be great. But go check out our Donovan Jackson video. We worked hard on it. All that good stuff. But yeah, definitely go check it out. Like in there, comment if you want. All of that helps our algorithm to push this thing out a little bit more for us. Let me get this giveaway up. Boom. Hey, appreciate you, Gary. He's doing all state. You're in good hands. Yeah, I believe in Tim Conley.
Yeah,
I believe in him. All right, let's get it going. Boom. Got to be here to win 5. Make it to the duck race. Skol Shred. Joey, are you still in here? Keeping it rolling. Joey, let us know.
No.
He's in. FT Maddie, let's go, my guy.
I feel like he's in every single one we do.
He's got to be. He's been on fire. He deserves it. He gave us a $5. It's worth it. He's in it no matter what. I don't even care if he's in here. But he is here. Jen made it. Jen was just talked, right?
I think so.
Jen, let us know if you're in here.
Yep, she is. We're good. Norse,
are you in here?
Better be.
Keep on rolling. Norris, let us know. Dave, I don't think you're here. Dave, let us know. All the wrenches in the room with a bunch of tools. Norris is in here. All right, I'm going to go again. Dave, unless you're in here, let us know.
We haven't seen him in a bit, so I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
But you never know.
Dylan, you still in here?
Nuggets fan next. Kidding.
We're good right now. Even though we already took out Jokic, that's what whatever. Jokic. I don't know. People use all the names.
They call him the Joker, but yet his name's pronounced Jokic.
Yeah.
I'll never understand that either.
We already took him out, so it'd be cool to beat out Shea. Dylan, you there?
He is.
Nice. All right, we got our names. Nuggets in 6. I could see. I'm gonna say game. I'm gonna go say it goes to 7.
I have this like sneaking like bad feeling that the Wolves drop tomorrow night for whatever reason.
Don't. No, fuck no. I don't at all. They're coming off game 7, a day off. Dude, I would not be I got Wolves in 5. I would not be surprised if we sweep their asses.
I hope you're right. I
think we're going. I think I'm saying 5. That's my prediction, but I'd be like, I could see us sweeping them. I just think we're just better. I just think we're better.
Can Casey dunk? I can do absolutely nothing that's athletic. So no, I cannot.
I definitely can.
I
wish. 1, 2.
Well, actually,
3,
I can
4,
dunk on my
5
nephew.
for Anthony Edwards.
I can dunk on my nephew's little tyke basketball hoop. I can dunk on that pretty well.
Yeah, I smashed that. Spin again.
What's that toy company called? It's not Little Tyke. What is that? It's like the red. It's got like the red outline on the oval. What's that called?
I'm not
Someone
sure.
that's kids. Let me know.
I'll know soon.
Can't remember what the brand is called.
Close race with Norris in the lead.
Oh,
we got who's the clown in this?
Shred.
Skol Shred, and he's gonna take it. My guy Joey. Let's go. Boom. Joey, what are you feeling, dude?
Take the Reichard card. It's worth it. Or Turner. He's a Turner guy. He was hyping up Turner earlier.
Dallas Turner, JJ McCarthy, the boy Will Reichard. Let's go. Which one do you want? There's Will the Thrill on a variation. JJ
Turner. Okay, that's a good one.
Turner. Sweet. All right, I got you a good Turner. I'll get you a good Turner.
All right. So, but I mean, by the next time we're on here, the Wolves could only have 1 win left to move on to the next round.
They will too.
Let's hope so.
No, the Wolves are going to
tomorrow night at 8. I'm going
smash.
Central Time because Central Time is most important. Tomorrow night at 8:30, Thursday at 7:30, and Saturday at 7:30. I think are the first 3. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just hoping Game 7's on every team besides us.
Yeah,
that's a goal. I definitely want the Thunder, and I want that to be a good series for sure. Mm-hmm. I want that to go Game 7.
Yeah.
But
all right, anything else?
I think that's it.
Right.
Obviously, we'll find out a little bit more about rookie minicamp this year. Here's some things. Regular minicamp starts next week. We'll hopefully get to see some JJ McCarthy stuff going on then.
Next Wednesday, schedule release.
Schedule release next Wednesday. So we'll be able to talk about Skol Fest, as well as just our schedule predictions and things like that. So we'll definitely have to go and do that. But again, everybody, definitely go check this out for us. We appreciate y'all. You saw my prediction, right? If we won the race, the Vikings win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Facts.
You're right. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for hopping in. Make sure to check out that video. Watch the whole damn thing. Leave a like. Leave a comment on it. Let us know how good we did. And our editor, credit out to Francis. Great editing job on that one. So thank you guys so much. See you guys next Monday right here. Same place as always, 6 p.m. GG Sports Podcast.